What's often overlooked in the great retrospective of World War II is fascist Italy. Honestly, for good reasons, considering they didn't do much fighting in Europe, and that's what takes most of the public eye. Because Nazi Germany were good villains that had a good chance of winning World War II, and were quite close to home for people living in Europe, and thus the US, while fascist Italy was more like the little annoying brother to the big and scary monster holding most of the power. Regardless, I want to show you their leader, Benito Mussolini, because in my opinion, he was a really fascinating guy, and it would be a crime to not remember such an interesting villain.
And our conquest of Ethiopia is going quite well. I give it about a 2 weeks for us to gain control of the entire country.
Good. Prompt me if you need further assistance.
Oh, you want something for breakfast?
Yes?
Well, air. Here.
Is that it?
What you want more?
Bagsby gets more than a slice of bread for breakfast. He tells me he gets a 6-egg omelet.
Well, not everybody can have a 6-egg omelet for breakfast, Benito. Is that better?
You see, socialism is the way to go, Benito. By eliminating class structures, we can form a perfect utopia by making the government make all the tools of success usable, or by simply making a big reformation of wealth every 30 years, or by...
Dad, that hammer fell in the forge.
Oh crap.
So long ago, before our whole era thing, there were these gladiator fighters in ancient Rome who fought in this big auditorium. Sometimes they fought each other, sometimes they fought lions and tigers or even elephants. They were taken from there. Lorenzo, what is the matter?
Benito keeps pinching me.
Bencho here has been entirely too rowdy for him to be taught here, and so I'm deciding to put my foot down and not allocate him with our more uniform students. No! I'm recommending you take the more strict boarding school nearby. They'll be much more equipped to handle him.
Okay, Benito, I win. Hand over your pogs.
Hand over your pogs. La 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 la. I never said that, Corad. You dope.
Yeah, you did. You said that you'd take all my pogs and rub it in my face.
I
there.
said no such thing.
Well, you did so.
Benito! What did you do that for?
You can't just
Stab.
someone because of the way they looked at you.
This is the second time you've done this. OMG, Benito, I'm a really big fan. I like your ideas a lot. I even have my own knit a black shirt like you said. Man, dude, I've heard you used to be a school teacher. Well, yes. Those Swiss guys should have welcomed such a bright mind like you, man. It's a real shame they got you into legal trouble. Some people, my friend, are dumber than others. I know, right? I mean, times like this, man, we need exactly what you said. Italy is in a soft state right now with everybody going on strike, the prices for food being up the wazoo, and the unemployment rate making everybody not be able to pay that wazoo money. Somebody needs to take control, like a person that knows every inch of Italy and has the mojo to bring people together, to unite and fix every dang problem in Italy without some band-aid fix.
If they don't, are they really skilled plays?
But with a proper one, you know? The strikes. Yeah, man, the whole part where he said to the king, you either stop the strikes or we will, and I was all like, dang, Mussolini, we playing for keeps? Dang, man, keeps? I mean, yeah, if we're playing for keeps, we should play for, like, Rome, and maybe I can get one of the columns. Man, I'd decorum the crap out of that column, man. The government has been mismanaging Italy for too long. To ensure that Italy lives in prosperity, in the now, we have to strike and take over. March on Rome with us and ensure your lives become better.
Guys, calm down. What do you want?
I'm taking over.
Well, I can give you a...
If I'm prime minister, it means I'm the main dude running the show. You know that, right?
Well, yeah.
I'm taking over. I'm taking over. I'm taking over. I'm taking over. Yeah, so after Mussolini took power in 1922, he would show his calling card of executive powers of fixing or absolving problems by using Band-Aid fixes. At the time, he didn't have complete dictatorial power, so to fix that, he took advantage of his year-long complete dictatorial powers to have it so that his fascist party had a majority in the Italian parliament, so they could basically do whatever they wanted. With that done, he was met with the main task, the whole reason the Italian people favored him. He had to fix Italy's economic issues. At first, he implemented some economist guy named Del Stefani, who did a lot of things that just basically loosened a couple of aspects of the government's economical policies, which made people favor Mussolini even more, and with that bulge in popularity, he unappointed Del Stefani and manhandled the economical stuff by doing stuff like non-military labor conscription, which screwed everything back up. Instead of him making the natural conclusion that having things free was good in more than just two ways, he decided to make more interventions like that.
A never-ending stream of officials passed through Mussolini's office each day to receive his orders, though he had no means of checking that his orders were carried out. Officials generally pretended to obey and took no action at all. His chief preoccupation was to make sure newspapers reported that he had given orders on every conceivable topic, including sports. There was a jungle of overlapping bureaucracies where Mussolini's orders were constantly being lost or purposely mislaid. Any fascist party official could issue an order purporting to come from Mussolini, as its authenticity was hard to check. By trying to control everything, he ended up controlling very little. Dennis Max Smith.
Kinda ironic he had the same issue the NCR did from Fallout New Vegas, even though he was fascist instead of free. This is the whole thing about Mussolini, okay? The whole point of a dictator is that you sacrifice your freedoms for prosperity. Except with Mussolini, you get all of the violations of personal freedom, but without the prosperity. It's just horrible. There's no redeeming qualities whatsoever. Yes, he had the ambitions of making this whole big Italian empire, which only succeeded in taking control of Egypt, and then maybe taking control of Ethiopia, which was this whole mess of him gas bombing Ethiopia, so the government there requested help from the League of Nations, and Mussolini got sanctioned, but still continued his invasion. Looking at Mussolini's campaign from the smaller picture, there is a lot of stuff going on. Like, there's this thing with the New Age politics of the Socialist Party, which Mussolini was a part of, and then the mutation of that party into Mussolini's fascists. And then there's the regular people, who probably believed in something else. The brutal intimidation tactics Mussolini's party used before he got into power, and the lackluster way Mussolini handled things despite the fact that he could appoint people who did a much better job at that job than him. A thing I should mention about Mussolini is that he was a part of the Axis powers during World War II, which means he was allies with, Germany and Japan. While he was kind of in the war, I guess, he didn't really take part in it very much. He tried to join the assault on France with Germany, but he barely got a fight in. Like, just barely. His total political campaign is a lot to unpack, because he reigned for more than just a decade. Thus, let's get to the good part, huh?
Yes, so since you're doing a terrible job in World War II, we like voting you out.
Well, that's just you. I have the majority, and your vote doesn't matter.
Dude, I'm wearing a black shirt.
So?
That literally implicates that I'm one of your supporters.
So?
That means that I am the majority.
So?
Ah, dude. you out of power.
Well, if you like voting so much, how about I ask the king who's in power? That's the real deciding factor here.
So what happened?
We voted him out of power by a landsliding majority.
So you're out of power then, Mussolini? But just because you tried to come back and you subjugated not just the Italian people, but also countless persons in Africa, I'm imprisoning you on an island. You goblin.
And so it was set in stone that Mussolini would be imprisoned in the island of Ponzo, then later to be broken out by German pilots to northern Italy, where he would hold a puppet state for the Germans. He would actually agree to that statement, by the way, and then when him and his mistress tried to flee to Switzerland dressed as Nazi personnel, they got brought out into the street and shot to death, and then they got put on this meat hook with him and his remaining supporters. The main thing you can learn from Mussolini is that if you have a countrywide political following and you want to take power, storm the capital and hope they don't have military forces occupying that area. And make sure you have good governing skills and you're not just a really good speaker. That's not a very good lesson, but...
Per la gioia del lavoro, per la pace, per la loro, per l'agonia di coloro che la patria rinne